Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we're doing a retrospective review of Evils of the Night. Alien vampires in search of teenage blood.
Directed by Mardi Rustam, starring Carrie Emerson, David Hawk, Bridget Holloman, Julie Newmar, Tina Louise, and John Carradine. This movie is about geriatric aliens versus sex-obsessed teens. There's a bunch of teens that are just hanging out at a beach, just having a great time. They're genuinely all of the nicest people, just trying to fuck each other.
There they go, at it again.
Unfortunately, they are going to be captured by old men mechanics and sold to alien vampires so they can suck out their nutrients and stay young. So because this is a retrospective review, we are going to be talking spoilers, so if you have not seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled, stop watching now. Otherwise, continue. So what do we like? Much like the back of the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray suggests, there is ample nudity. You hear that like synopsis, like sex crazed teens. No way. Like, oh yeah, everybody's naked in this movie and they are super horny. Every single person is trying to fuck each other.
Only one person didn't want to have sex.
No, what are you doing? What's the matter with you?
I'm horny for you, baby.
Eventually, he went over to the side of like, yeah, I want a bone. And I think this film had one of the best scored sex scenes.
Baby, your touch has made everything right.
I think like all of the sexual interactions were hilarious because some of them are like almost too real. Like this one dude, I think he's getting with Amber Lynn. He's just like licking her up and down, like all over her like face and neck and chin, and it was so fucking awkward.
And each time I hold you, we get carried away.
So there is definitely a lot of sex and nudity, and it's hilarious too because they're all awkward 80s people.
You gonna tease me all night, or gonna get a little action this time?
I like the concept. I don't know why they needed to be alien vampires. Maybe just so there's a time limit for them to escape. It's like, okay, we've collected enough young blood. Let's get going. Get in their spaceship.
I just feel like saying they're alien vampires makes me more interested in watching it.
It's the only reason that we watched it today.
Yeah.
So
the concept is great. You throw the concept out there, it's like, let's take aliens, but let's make them vampires. And let's take teens and make them sex crazed. Formula for success, right?
maybe this was like a huge hit. It did have Julie Newmar, who looks exactly the same. Even though she was like, this was 20 years after she was Catwoman, and she still looked good. She's been sucking a lot of young blood to stay that youthful.
And this is one of those things where it's like, just pulling in all the stars from like the 60s and 70s. You got Aldo Ray, Neville Brand, Tina Louise.
That's Ginger from Gilligan's Island, who's also trying to suck up all this blood. I thought like it was hilarious because we have like the two old men who are just like regular people. Those are the people that are actually running out and kidnapping all these kids for those sweet gold coins that they're trading people for. The characters in this movie are so cliche and amazing though. They're all just fun.
Ooh, I'm still dizzy.
That's just the effect of my kissing.
Oh, I think maybe it's lack of oxygen.
Oh yeah? You wanna try it again?
Like I would want to hang out with all of them, not just because we all want to bang each other. I just want to like go play frisbee with these guys.
because they play it naked?
Maybe. Okay. They just seem like likable people.
The real test of a man is by what he's got hanging.
All right. Let's see how long you can hold that over the fire.
And they're hilarious. And so you're gonna like the characters, especially like Brian. He gets ragged on by the whole gang, but it's all in playful fun. He's always pulling pranks, putting marshmallows in his eyeballs.
I'm gonna kill you, Brian!
Well, you might as well. I'm sleeping by myself tonight.
Brian was actually the most entertaining character in this entire film. He had that Peter Pan look going on.
Yeah, that super, super deep V. It's like if Colin existed in the back in the 80s as like a teenager, that's what he would look like.
I appreciated the special effects. It's of campy nature, the use of the lasers, and how people die with getting hit by the laser is entertaining.
I don't know that they were killing people. I think they were like stopping them from doing things. Well, they killed some people. Actually, no, I don't think they could even explain it because they even ad-libbed in the line.
What happened to him?
He bled to death.
Come on, let's get the hell out of here.
Well, I guess we can just go on to our dislikes and talk about that stuff then. I wish there was more alien aspects, considering it looked at first like these people were getting abducted into some kind of spaceship. And you're like, this is just a fucking regular hospital, dude. Just because there's space nurses walking around doesn't mean it's a space hospital.
And I was really disappointed because one of the first abductions, it looked like it was a giant vacuum cleaner sucking someone up. And I was hoping that throughout this film, you were gonna get that like campiness.
It's arguably aliens.
And arguably vampires.
What they do is collect the people, very poorly, might I add. They try and bring them to this hospital, and the kids often escape.
The worst part is, they're actually not bad people. They actually try and keep them alive and take care of them so that they can release them when they're done. It's the mechanics that kill the teens. The aliens are just like, we need your platelets so we can have a little lifespan, and then we'll send you off on your way.
And the fact that they were vampires, they didn't even suck blood. So like they did collect the blood off camera, have blood in tubes and put it into some vacuum thing, and that was it. It was like a very small part of this movie was actually the vampire alien aspect. For the majority of the movie, it's mechanics hunting like teens. The aliens are almost like second. Like nobody even really cares about them. They're not doing anything.
At least have them look either like aliens or vampires. Like they looked like neither. The fact that this was focused around the mechanics just really bothered me because I didn't go into this movie wanting to see two old man mechanics just like capturing teens.
It says geriatric aliens versus sex-obsessed teens, not geriatric mechanics versus sex-obsessed teens.
And the teens themselves, though enjoyable as characters, there's just moments in the film where you're sitting there being like, why are you doing what you're doing?
For example, Nancy, she has an axe in her hand. She is fleeing, and she instead decides to run around a trailer for 5 minutes and not do a damn thing. And the guy gets her by jumping straight at her, not from coming from either side of the trailer. Half of these people, like the first guy that we saw, he popped off his like hospital bed while these alien nurses were about to probably kiss each other, it looked like. I didn't really know, but he was like creeping around. He could have been out of there, but that's not really what happened.
And Heather, she broke free, she had a weapon, she had the surprise attack, she just hits Kurt in the shoulder, and then Brian's like, just keep hitting, oh, grab some weapons. Like, he's commentating what she should be doing.
And so are we. We're screaming like, please just fucking listen to him.
Yeah, and like, she's not doing it right. Go for the head. The fact that young adults with weapons could not beat old men is a serious problem.
Old man strength, that's what we chalk it up to. I get it.
They've hardened their skin over time.
Yeah, it's super leathery, that's for sure, from hanging out in fucking Florida half the year. One day we'll have old man strength, John. But I hope I'm not working as a mechanic.
You're just gonna get a wrench to the back of the head and just shrug it off like it's nothing at all.
Well, I hope I'm never in a situation where I have a bunch of teens tied up in my basement where I have to be dodging wrenches, but I'll be prepared for anything. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Evils of the Night was a fun movie to watch, but it wasn't the movie that I wanted to watch necessarily because I thought it would involve more old vampire aliens. Like, that is a hilarious concept, and unfortunately they don't do anything. They stand in one room for probably 5 total minutes of screen time, and it's mechanics just kidnapping teens. I did enjoy the amount of nudity and the teens that are just like hanging out, having fun, having sex. I thought they were great, but the mechanics I thought were stupid as all hell. I hated them. I get that they were trying to be goofy at times, but it just wasn't that fun, and especially when it got closer to the end of the movie, it was just super slow. We had our main 3 people tied up in the mechanic shop for like 25 minutes. And it just went on for too long with nothing really exciting happening. There's not a lot of kills in the movie, and I just wish they incorporated more alien things, or even vampire things. So I'm gonna give this 1.5 valiant efforts at trying to get laid out of 5.
All right, so you have a dirtier than average mind.
Now, what would you like to do about it?
Shut up, Brian!
You have a one-track mind.
This film sounds great on paper, but overall, it's actually very disappointing. The pacing of this film isn't that exciting because you're just watching three teens camping out while mechanics are trying to kidnap other teens. Our villains are neither alien nor vampire in appearance. They're just alien vampires because they need blood and they have a spaceship. We do have some enjoyable characters. Brian is overly entertaining, and watching him charm his way through the entire film is quite enjoyable. But other than that, it's really boring. I think if you're looking for a film that's super campy and a fun time, you probably are gonna wanna avoid this one because it's not what it sounds like. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 1 underwater surprise out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.